see whether they can make better of it this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I would love a wilder range of hairstyles. You know, we've had highlights like Moham, like Rooster, but even Rooster now has the standard haircut. And let me tell you, that man had a mane.
He did.
It was glorious.
It was very, very, very nice. So hopefully we do get that sort of upgraded alongside this drafting. As an Elise first ban here for T1 is going to come on through. That is a little quizzical, as once again, the Azir, the response ban to the Talia.
So we're going to ban Victor. That is Nongshim.
Yep.
And then T1 is going to be one...
Gwen.
I think Gwen is the most likely. Yorick might be another.
Ooh.
Doran did have a banger Yorick game, and teams really rate the pick. I think Gwen is more likely, but we'll have to see.
Is it just the Victor first pick? The Victor final ban here?
Oh,
that's
no,
the question.
For sure. Yeah. Also, because the Akali is one of the counter picks, right? You can still go Sylas, but Sylas is a bit more draft dependent. As far as counter picks go, I'd be very... Oh, it's going to be Defiance.
Right.
So
Vi
Victor,
did need to be banned.
yeah, we didn't mention that, but that is definitely a good call. So then it's B1 Victor for T1, unless something really crazy happens.
Ooh.
It's Gwen instead. Wow.
Okay, so Faker not feeling like he needs, you know, his most comfortable champion when he's not facing off against Zeka or Chovy or one of the more powerful mid laners here in the LCK. That could make some sense because Calix's laning phase was not really something to be too feared.
Really, the chase.
It's been fallen out of vogue just a little bit here. Of course, Kingan has always been a fan. He will lock it away. But I'm kind of with you. I don't feel like the Jace power level is where it used to be.
Calix also contemplating, because you know that if you don't pick the Victor here, I do think T1 will sweep it up. I love the Poppy. I do think that that is a really good pickup here. Also would be good in case, because owner needs to go for an AD jungler, right? Particularly if they are going to go towards the Victor. You'd be looking at least some source of AD in the top side of the map.
Yep.
As the Skarner wouldn't provide a lot of damage, but it is a very strong pick in general. It does mean
still the Victor.
I gotta say, this top side for T1, it'll be good eventually. But the early game, especially if Calix goes like just the classic Sylas here, which we do know Calix loves his melee laners. This is a bit more utility oriented. Don't mind that.
Yeah, Galio would be interesting. It does open a lot of hypercarry doors for you, but this does...
No-brainer.
Yeah, we've seen this so many times. Instead, it's the Rise. Okay.
Don't like that quite as much, but it does mean that you have a considerable amount of side lane pressure. And Rise is really good, because the Victor obviously has a decent amount of range, but the rest of T1 is going to be running into you at high speed.
Also gives you a lot of flexibility fighting around objectives later in the game. The Realm Warp into Keeper's Verdict, half the enemy team away and steal the Baron, actually sounds really fun, if it ever actually works.
My real question is Poppy actually going jungle? And because you can just slam Trundle. True. I just want you to think about like playing the Trundle here into Victor's Skarner.
And then you get the Trundle Heroic Charge combo as well. Oh my god, you are so right.
But what I wanted to highlight as well is that are we going to see the Skarner Poppy combo where like Skarner impales while Poppy ults and then Skarner just goes to a bunch of people? Because I love that. It's so fun.
That would definitely be very cool if it did happen. Once again, Nico Renata.
Straight Renata, the respect to Carrier, still being paid. I really hope Nongshim just picks an AD carry here and doesn't reveal where this Poppy is really going. Because I think it's a big source of power. Lahan's obviously very happy to play really anything.
Okay, Nautilus instead.
Okay, well, I don't love... It's fine, but... I guess they want to deny the Nautilus from Carrier, the main consideration here, but then they can just slam Braum.
Yeah,
I really feel like this is a bit of a fumble on 4 here from Nongshim. Because agree. You give the opportunity. This is a horrible matchup. Like, I'd say outside of Renata, probably the worst matchup for the Nautilus. You just can't do anything in lane. Now in the Lucian, Gio, is he going to try and fight fire with fire and play aggressive, or is he going to try and outscale? Those are kind of the two answers. This is fire with fire. Does mean you have a lot of damage towards that bottom side of the map. We'll see which variety it is, because I know normally with Nautilus you will go for the on-hit variety. Into this team, I think you go lethality. I don't think you want to be near anyone on that team.
Yeah, especially with the Gwen.
Yeah, you want to be able to fight for pride. Even Skarner, right? Like,
yeah.
Even if and Gio is slowly regaining form. I think it was highlighted on the space. I really do agree. I think he's slowly getting back to where we know he was back in 2023 in particular. But that'll be a tough one to play out. I think Nongshim, bit of a fumble there towards the end. The draft as a whole was still good, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is still a solid draft. I would give the edge to T1, but it's nothing compared to game number 1. I don't want to be very clear about that. And T1's top side and their lack of damage scares me a little. And I think Guma's form has been still pretty up and down. His Jhin, and that is supposed to be his pick, was not convincing. And with Lucian, you don't get a lot of room for mistakes.
Yep. Really good to see the incredible Lehens superfans still in the audience here. So many Lehens fans turning up today. Very, very cool stuff. T1 fans, though, pretty desperate to make this one a 3-gamer. And this draft, as you mentioned, Chronicler, is looking a little bit more well-suited to making that happen. Not necessarily, like you say, as one-sided, but still a much better position to be in if you're a T1 fan. Let's dive into the Rift, see whether they can take game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, bit of a 4-stack here heading towards the top side, but not going to find anyone. Some shenanigans to begin things here as, oh, let's see where the King can get some baiting happening. Don't think it is going to work out. And I think everyone else has probably gone back. Okay, never mind. We're flashing in.
Oh, he doesn't know.
No.
Again? A second first blood?
Well, they're going to look for it. There's the hook connecting. And a flash heroic charge. Doran's real dead. Nongshim are just the architects of the level 1.
Lehens. Perhaps the most sneaky giant guy in big armor I've ever seen. Sneaks his way in. It is Gio actually going, which I love, for the Comet, so that does mean he's playing lethality, which doesn't feel quite as exciting with the Nautilus as, the reverse. Oh, Lehens, I think he has a suspicion. He still walks in.
Yep.
Puppey is there.
And, okay, just going to back away. They know, like, Lehens doesn't have Flash, doesn't have Ignite, has nothing.
That's still fine.
Some good damage. Doesn't also have Hex Flash, which is a big shame.
Gideon. Wonder if he wants to really try and look for an aggressive play towards the spot side. There is vision.
Ooh, gonna catch him. As Gio able to offer a little bit of damage back here, but heal being invested by T1 will help even things out when it comes to the summoner spells.
Carrier does have Spellbook, so we'll be able to just use his spells a ton and not really be too worried, as we do see the Skarner again. The prior remains decently high. We haven't had a lot of Skarner games that really blew our mind, as King, and he was ready for that dash in. But there is a Skarner that invaded his top side. I don't think they know, and he is very low.
He is extremely low.
Is he paying attention?
Yeah, he's got to make sure that he gets out of here. He could just be flash slammed. He does get interrupted. Gideon now booking it towards the top side. And, I mean, Owner is just going to try and go for this one again. As he does boop him away, the flash has to be invested. As now Doran could be in trouble. He's battling with both the turret and the Jace as he picks up the aggro. And there's the last hit, Kingen! That was absolutely extraordinary. Picks up the second kill for Nongshim, and the Skarner is nowhere to be seen. Oh my, I have not seen an outplay like that in a really long time.
How, as Skarner, are we not walking up and just flash E-ing? Like, you can't go for the long wind-up on E. If you know Kingen has his hammer, you can't.
근데 너 그냥 나한테 안
no way,
빨리고
look,
너 이득
the
볼래?
thing here is, I thought Owner was just going to go in.
Yeah,
they go
you heard the
it.
response. He was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That was what he said.
Great flash. Yeah, he's like... yeah. That was...
Yeah, Kingen was actually just like, don't spend time on me, just get advantages.
Which
he said that before the play even happened.
Oh my god, there's no shot.
Oh, okay. Well,
they're bullying him!
Doran's not having a great time. The hook catches him as well. Of course it does. Calyx, he's going to grab a piece of the pie here. And Nongshim, they've already got feats of warfare here at 4 minutes.
You know what the crazy part is? This isn't even really Lahenz's fault. Like, this one. I think even arguably the previous one.
You mean Doran's fault?
Sorry, yeah, Doran's fault. Yeah. No, well, Lahenz is at fault for killing.
One of 3 of them has got to be Doran's fault.
Well, so I think the first one is, right? Because you can just immediately peace out. And I think the second one, he should have just backed off the moment that Owner got hammered away instead of fully committing to the play. But I also am just kind of unsure how they didn't coordinate better towards that top side. Like, Owner going in when the wave wasn't fully pushed. So I guess the read was that Puppey would be on the way, but then you just can't go for that play as Lahenz.
Yeah, Lahenz taking a lot of damage, and there is the last hit. So I'm not sure what his plan was.
That too is Lahenz. Has his flash.
Indeed.
Now.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes it's a bait, like in game 1. Sometimes he's just into it.
That was the
second
one. That was the second one, yeah.
We had a bit of that one there.
Game is not... T1, despite all of this, still has a gold lead. Although I do think that the Lahenz moment did help a lot with that, because if you look at the gold lead, it's mostly in bot lane.
Yeah. And it wasn't that big before. It was like 7s and 6s. Not so much anymore. They've got a game plan, don't they?
Atlas. Gideon on Puppey. We've seen this man do... Oh
dear.
No.
Well, Doran may die again. As, yeah, there's the interruption on the dash. Gets thrown into the sky, booped back by the big hammer, and Doran will get taken down. Kingen collects himself the kill. And they need to really start thinking about giving Doran a kill onto Lahenz, just so they can start resetting the money, because, I mean, we're going to start wasting time soon. May as well pick up a cannon. All right, Ona coming on in, though. 3 versus 2 here on this top side. Jiu is walking very, very slowly, blocks the Winter's Bite, and they're unable to get it. The hook does come back as Jiu's burning. Owner in a bit of trouble, but Owner finds it with the piercing arrow. What is this, Nongshim? Everything's just a fadeaway jump shot. They're getting buckets when the defense looks okay.
Don't know enough about basketball to directly respond to that.
I mean, I think, like, I don't really either, but...
Well, then why are you going for it? Okay, I don't want to get distracted. We have been so laser focused. I want to focus on this game because 2 things to me are true. I think that Nongshim are playing like their lives depend on it, and it does, right? This match absolutely pivotal for them. But also, T1 looks so tilted.
Oh, yeah. And I don't blame them. I'm tilted. Watching these plays, how is that Q like supposed to even work? Surely one of them should have died in that last fight. Jeepers.
That's the 1 gold lead that T1 had. Now also taken off the board.
And they've got 1 left.
So T1 does have a composition that eventually will always get value. But I kind of felt good about their game state when they got the early kill. And then here, Lahenz just doesn't get tagged by the final auto. No one has flash, or no one can actually get on top of him.
It's like, that's why Lahenz went to Challenger with Jiu.
Oh, you're saying this?
Because then Jiu blocked the auto, so like it wasn't sharing pixels. Made sure that he wasn't stunned up. As now Owner is going to come on over. Gideon is not afraid of anything. He's just heroically charging in over and over again. And you mentioned before, I mean, it's a 1.5k gold lead. It's not really anything, but still.
It's the
going to go a little bit wide.
Atlas.
Yeah, it's the vibes. And it's the fact that, like, you'd be infinitely tilted after all of those plays worked out and so beautifully for Nongshim.
A Nongshim that's vibing. This goes back to 2023. Yeah. We know that's dangerous.
Not to mention 2022, there's a Kingen on this team, and the guy just had one of the sickest outplays of the LCK this season. He's bound to be feeling himself after that one. It also bodes terribly for DK, who's going to be facing off against them in our last match in 2 days' time. That's the most meaningful thing about this. is the fact that Nongshim could be solidifying Legend Group here, as the door does have to be put up, and Gideon, he's making his way over, wasting no time at all. 2-for-1 special with that hail of arrows, and that is going to be one picked up for Gio and one going over to Gideon. Nongshim just styling, man. I don't think you can stop them now.
I don't think there's a way. We are just witnessing Nongshim currently up 2k gold and getting closer and closer to straight up 2-0ing 2. This is the one scenario that would guaranteed lock them in. By the way, there's no other outcome of this series that would give them any guarantee. We're putting them in a great position, but everything is just going poorly for T1 right now. And against Hanwha, I think there was a lot more cope angles. They're just straight up getting outplayed across the map. There's Lucian Brom trying to push an advantage. Gideon on the Poppy, which, as we have talked about often, I feel like is still going criminally under the radar as far as power picks go. And
Not to mention Gideon just being so good at this champion.
This is the champion that I think made us go Gideon might be a top 3 jungler. I do think that he's fallen off a decent amount since. In this game, though, I at the top of the day, I was like, I'm still coping for Owner, right? I think that a large part of it is there's a lot of responsibility. After that Skarner play,
nah.
I'm a big Owner defender, but we gotta take a bit of a break.
I don't think even you have ever tried to defend his Skarner, though.
No. And T1 picking it as well, I think doesn't bode that well.
No.
Now T1, they're not out of this. They do want to, again, remind everyone that there is a Victor, a Gwen, and a Skarner in this game, so the team fights are good.
Yeah, I do think that if they could pause this game, get a few nights sleep, maybe like go and like see a
like
movie
a little
or something like that.
Like a little retreat.
Little retreat, you know.
You know Sinners is out. I've heard it's supposed to be great.
Yeah, there we go. That would be perfect.
Some team building.
Yeah, in a hot spring perhaps.
Yeah, maybe
sauna.
a hike, you know, like an early morning hike.
Yeah. For like at least 3 days. And then came back, sat down on the chairs and unpaused this game. I think there's hope. In the state that they're in now, I don't think there's hope.
Well, I don't believe in Costa curses, so
it's not about curses. It's just the reality of the power of mental, and I just think things are a little bit rough right now. As Calyx playing this one pretty effectively, of course. Faker not in any real danger, although he doesn't have flash. Still, maybe Gumayusi can be the hope here for T1, but they're going to have to go for a full mental reset. Otherwise, this is going to be very, very rough. Lehens possibly going to face check here as he doesn't get the buffer. Chains of Corruption comes down, gets a nice double knock-up. He's actually investing a fair bit here as he does try and get the stun up. Flash does come out and Nongshim just not able to follow up in time, even though he bought a fair bit of it.
That's a Lehens kill. Those don't count. We all know that.
Yeah, no, that
they do. We're joking. But it is definitely a big win for T1. They got Jiwoo's flash, which is nice. Got a kill on Lehens. But the real bounties are on the top side, right? Kingen and Gideon need to go down. And I'm also hoping for T1 that we have seen in the past Faker's Victor go for really defensive builds. Now you do have a lot of AP damage on the top side of the map with Doran as well. But with this game state, I feel like...
we Hex Flash finds the stun here as well. The door will go up, so some time could be bought here as a double knock-up from Gideon is gorgeous. The Ignite ticking down, and Carrier, he won't be okay, as there's a Realm Warp coming in, and he's going to have to walk the wrong direction. Kingen will be able to block him off. He's taking them on a merry jaunt around Summoner's Rift here as the flash goes in. Kingen just looking to challenge Guma, and he takes him down, even though the flash was invested. Doran, I don't think, is going to be diving Jiwoo here, and Carrier is going to make it out. So Guma dies, the Carrier sins, I guess.
That can't happen. Lucian is one of those AD carries where you have so much mobility, you have so much innate safety. Can't walk up.
We're ganking Calyx. He doesn't have flash. He's going to try and look for something back, but he does not get it. And there it is, Doran picking up a kill here for T1. And Ono going to come on over and look to try and steal away the crab. Does not manage to get the smite, but it was a cute little effort. Isn't going to get punished for it or anything like that. Play goes down in the mid lane. And T1 keeping it within touching distance here. 1,200 gold. Gumiushi just got back, guys. Okay, Gideon is going in, misses the Q straight up, but that is going to be a lot of damage going down there as Carrier looks to try and get something back. As Kingen, he's going in and actually had the passive on him, and now they're looking for Doran, who was very far up. Gideon's just dead because Ona did make it towards this bottom lane eventually. And Nongshim, chill out, please.
I have a good summary of what just happened. What? Okay. So, Nongshim, they got a little dizzy. There was too much happening there. At some point here, I think they were sitting on a 2K gold lead.
Yeah, and now it's
Gold's now even.
Yeah. We need to calm down.
So, gonna highlight good things. Owner tirelessly waiting to, or working to make things happen on the map. Faker, he's absorbing pressure. He's setting up for his teammates. I don't like that he's going for another vegan Victor build, but we'll let it go. Guma, my guy, back-to-back performances that aren't really inspiring. The amount of damage that Kingen is doing, though, absolutely disgusting.
It's not very fair at all. The fact that he goes back in as well, but then like this, like
that is
like guys.
So, guys, you know he was there. We saw him earlier.
Yeah.
And then here Doran gets his flash forced as Lehens and Giu have the combo. And I think he, really nice sidestep there from Doran. Because if that kill goes over, the gold lead does remain in place for Nongshim. That's not going to be the case. Those bot side kills, definitely a big deal.
Okay, Giu able to at least boost out of there with his Ghost Blade. Still good. She's softening him up just a little bit here as Doran gets the experience for the cannon.
Things are now kind of fine for T1.
Yeah?
Well, in terms of game state, I still don't think
it must have been the retreat, or maybe it was the hot springs or the sauna or something like that.
Oh, they just did it's the classic, you know, snip my fingers and the time pauses.
Yeah, they did a bit of time dilation type stuff.
That's powerful.
That must have been what it was. Or maybe they're professional gamers that don't let the game state get to them.
Don't tilt quite as easily as either of us.
Titanium mental, you know? Or maybe enough people were tilted on their behalf for them not to be, as Doran is going to get slammed to the wall. He's dead, guys. This is a Gwen that is not immune. The inner turret is likely to fall down as well as Calyx. Let's see whether he can survive on the other side of the map. This is called a cross-map play, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. As Calyx does deal with the wave, and now he's just looking to run.
I think he just wants the wave.
He will probably be able to get most of it, as it does take a little bit of time. One last little auto, there it is. Faker's able to lock that one down. But Kingen did get this inner turret on the bottom side of the map, and as you can see represented in the gold numbers on the top of the screen, that is kind of worth here for Nongshim.
So Doran doesn't get to play the video game, as we have already established. That trend kind of continues.
Yes.
Nongshim is going to get the second Drake. If the poke comp gets Hextech Soul, I think that...
it's not Hextech Soul.
Oh yeah, never mind. We're already...
It's 16
I thought we were already on the second
there.
dragon, but there's been too much going on. My statement
Your
stands.
statement stands, absolutely.
Nice, thank you, Rift. Imagine if it was like Chemtech and I'm like, man, I gotta change my whole point.
Yeah, the whole point would have been erased. Thankfully, you had a few good options, because Ocean would have also been pretty awful for T1 to deal with.
Yeah, Ocean I think is kind of doable. It's not great, but you do eventually, I think, with this comp, you reach a critical mass on both Gwen and Victor, and then I do think you can get through.
Eat him, yep.
But if T1 would have gotten it, would have been horrible. But Infernal is going to be amazing for Nongshim. I still like their position more because the objective control, right? They've been able to actually get these two dragons very early on, which gives them a lot of flexibility in how they play their mid games. T1's team fight, though, is quite strong. Faker also going for what looks to be a very early Void Staff. Happy about that. If he was going to go like Zhonya second, that would have been a bit unhappy. I think that T1 need all the damage they can get, because it's got to be coming down to the team fights here.
Well, I've seen this one before as Giu going to cleanse. Not going to get slowed down, but Lehens may pay for it as he does get the aftershock. He's actually pretty tanky. Chains of Corruption go in, but the answering door is going to be there. Steadfast presence, though, is Gideon, and he's going to be able to keep himself alive. The 1-3-1 working out pretty well here for Nongshim, though. As you can see, Calyx and Kingen in these side lanes making things happen. Nongshim will be able to defend outside of losing their Nautilus. Kingen giving a lot of respect to Faker here as he moves towards that top side, knowing that there were quite a few people roaming up there.
We have experience leads for particularly mid lane.
Oh dear. Calyx may have just killed himself by stopping that back.
Yeah, you're not getting off your Realm Warp, I don't think, against Skarner.
No. That is not happening. Does get a very large boost of speed with that phase rush. Oh, and he gets out! That was sick. That was sick, Calyx. Did have to invest the flash for it, but damn, he looked cool.
One more wave for a flash. I say...
it wasn't even one more wave. It was throwing a Q into nothing.
No, I know. I was about to say, it was stylish. It wasn't good.
Yeah, okay. Faker takes a billion damage
no flash.
and then some from Kingen. And now Kingen's getting teleported on. Gideon going to be moving up here. We'll see whether he can get the crab. He will be able to, as Kingen is just dead.
I think they had no vision. Like, because otherwise Gideon could have just roamed up.
Oh, that was sexy.
And protected Kingen. So I'm pretty sure they were just caught off guard by that. Nongshim, couple of mistakes slipping in here, and T1 clearly not going down without a fight.
Absolutely not.
That's a big shutdown. Going over to Doran. That actually, he's still 1.8k gold behind. So it's not great, but it's definitely better. And Gwen does, I think, outscale in this match. If you can get to like relative parity, which this really helps with, the spike for Kingen right now is still kind of disgusting. Faker not having his flash is also a big deal. There's a lot of champions on Nongshim where their snap engage is so insane, right? Where you can just get on top of them very easily and blow your opponents up in seconds. And T1 do have a triple carry composition, but... ooh, two of their carries are still pretty substantially behind.
I mean, there's a lot of other teams that would never have allowed T1 this kind of way back in, though. So
it's still Nongshim.
Yeah, Nongshim needs to tidy it up a little bit if they want to make this one happen. 300 gold, and you can feel the momentum shift, right? It felt before like Nongshim could kind of do no wrong. They were running circles around T1. That has stopped happening now. The answers are now there for the T1 squad, and when Nongshim go for their overly aggressive plays, they are then punished.
I do kind of want a free gamer, Atlas. I'm really enjoying this. This is, you know, it might not be pretty, but this is what League of Legends looks like.
I mean, it is pretty. Like, there was some pretty plays. There's been some big ones in this game. It's okay. Gumayushi gonna get the ult out of G. That looked like that was a fear ultimate.
I want to remind you of the Owner Skarner top situation, and also the bot lane dive where Owner also shows up and just kills two people for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, no, those things did happen. However, there were the positives. And one of the positives
Kingen's play was hella clean.
Yeah, right? Like Kingen's play on the top side, and then Calyx getting the really cool like phase rush into Realm Warp flash plays just so that he could make sure that he got off that one Q that hit nothing. Oh, gorgeous.
I think what this game is arguing, really when you boil it down, is function over form. Or sorry, form over function, right? Like, because Gen G, for example, it's pure function. They are a methodical team.
It's like going to the ballet.
It's ballet versus German-engineered cars.
Exactly.
You know, Gen G, they will never let you down. They're stable. They're well-engineered. But this is art. Atlas.
Honestly, that actually makes Lehens make sense. Lehens is performance art.
It is!
He just is, as a person. That's all right. Siege is now on. Gideon possibly in trouble, but he has 1 billion hit points, so that might help him out. And T1 slowly but surely getting poked down. Remember, Nongshim's poke is kind of ridiculous. And then they can turn on a dime as well. Remember, Realm Warp and the Poppy can really skew these fights. It's kind of nuts.
Even Lehens?
Yeah.
There's a Braum. I like the angle from Doran here. Oh, he's found.
Yep, Kingen going to spot him out there, and I don't think he can walk into a full health Jace.
The wave control for Nongshim is so crazy. With Lethality, Varus, and Rise?
Yeah, they can just walk back for 2 seconds to the wave, and it is just gone. Doran doing that on the bottom side of the map, though, as we can see here, so they might be able to get control at least at some point.
Maybe Calyx, item finished.
Oh god, that is the 2-item spike coming in for the Rise. I'm pretty sure his Seraph should be done as well. It's a Rise. There it is. Big spike now.
I don't know if T1 can really fight this, but that's Soul Point for Infernal Soul, Atlas!
At 23 minutes! T1, they're going to try and get over here. Doran gets into the pit. Owner, can you actually drive your way through and steal it? He cannot. And they just get rid of the Gwen. The culling does nothing, and Nongshim say thanks for the Soul Point. And it feels to me like Nongshim have locked back in again. It was a bit of happy gaming for a while there, but that was a great play.
What's really big is that T1's disengage is incredible, but their engage kind of sucks. It's just Skarner.
Yeah.
And there are...
Oh, what about engaged Braum?
Yes, exactly. And there are 3 phase rushes, a gate, a realm warp, and a Poppy on the enemy team.
Yeah.
So, really, the more... and we already kind of highlighted this. If the game state was a bit more even, and T1 were in a position where they were not pretty substantially behind as...
Oh dear. Well, Doran is going to try to make this one work. He flashes, but yeah, no, Kingen is just going to hit him with...
Doran, I'm trying to defend you, but that flash, I cannot. No can do.
No.
Maybe it might be an Otacon angle. Yeah, Kingen is flash. Or TP. I think they should look towards that.
Unless they can go for some sort of fight, which, you know, 4 versus 5.
They are Nongshim, so that's probably what they'll do.
Yep, teleport comes in from Kingen, get him into the area. And it looks like it's either fight or Otacon or both. Or all of the above. There it is. The engage, the slam into the wall. Great knockups, though, coming through from this Braum. But Carrier, he can only do so much. Gumayushi finds the culling onto the side, and Gideon, he's just unkillable. I just don't know whether we're ever getting through this Poppy. Calyx was somewhere at that time.
He's not even building tanky. He went Sundered Sky first.
Whoa, it's a flash from King, and he's looking for another one. The flash comes out, the slow is cleansed, but you cannot cleanse death. And it's a solo kill for Kingen. 6, 2, and 5 on this Jace. He's 3k ahead. They pick up an Otacon, and Nongshim, it's once again looking like they have this one in the bag.
No. Yeah, it's just game.
It's just Baron.
It's just game, Atlas. That's what that was.
Huh.
Can't wait to see the discourse after this one.
I mean, Noodles, man. You know what,
by discourse, I'm referring to the post that the Nongshim social media manager is going to draw.
True, that's a good one.
Just you wait. This is, again, the only outcome with which Nongshim, this Kingen, man. Because for me, Kingen was on the verge of dropping below Doran. I feel like his last couple of weeks really weren't that impressive. Doran had made a comeback.
Last week, Kingen.
Right now, my oh my. And this T1 biting off way more than they can chew. You're guaranteed down a member.
And you're just not allowed. You're not allowed to make that play.
You have to wait until they're...
Well, Kingen is going to go into 4 people and die. He, of course, didn't have very much choice there, as Calyx is splitting on the other side. Jiu's in the mid lane.
Oh, this
might look like a good pick for T1, but Nongshim are very happy with this. That's inner turret, outer turret for Hammerman. Hextech Hammerman.
I do like...
It felt good to say.
Yeah,
I like to say it again.
I like Hammerman. He is... As Calyx.
He is sometimes Gunman. This is Bookman, and Bookman is in a bit of trouble. Keeper's verdict, and it's in. The verdict is no more Gamushins.
I can't believe I just now realized how many judge jokes we could have been making all this time with Poppy. I feel like I haven't been doing that at all. That's such a wealth of jokes that I've never tapped into.
Also, isn't Judge the name of that guy from that show who was played by Boromir? Not Boromir. The Rohan guy. Oh man, I don't have enough information in my brain to make this one work.
I can't help you with this one, Atlas.
Yeah, Kingen, it's my bad. I'll try and figure it out. Kingen was dead. Yeah.
It's a nice collapse. It's a death rush. Often means that there isn't really a lot going on the rest of the map, which there wasn't. And T1 is going to have to find a Hail Mary. I do want to draw your attention.
Judge Dredd. That's what I was talking
Carl
about.
Urban.
Carl,
yeah.
And I meant Irma. Why did I say Boromir? What is wrong with me? Sorry, Sean Bean.
That's why I was so confused.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's okay.
Sometimes our brains fade.
I again want to highlight, looking at the gold, T1 is behind. It's not unfightable, but it's more so what we have witnessed. The gameplay thus far from Nongshim just has been way better. And unless T1 get one of those classic T1 team fights where suddenly they're able to turn the game around, not unlike one of my other favorite legal games, Phoenix Wright, right? Turnabout T1.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. Gideon goes in, but it was right as Ona was going in himself, and then he just looks a bit silly. Ona takes a fair bit of damage, but Nongshim are now on the run. I'd almost say it was kind of lucky, as now Doran is looking for even more. No, don't do it. You don't need to, as he flashes forward and just blast cones his way out. They need to deny this dragon. That's absolutely true. As Kingen is an absolute monster, but not if these shock blasts do not land. And Nongshim will not be able to challenge. for that Infernal Dragon. T1 just bought themselves 5 minutes.
Is that Edgeworth's music I hear? Are we in a Phoenix Wright game?
Oh,
is this
no.
Ace Attorney? Turnabout T1?
Well, I don't know about that because Kingen is going to come on over and yeah. Gumshoes is like,
okay, no.
brother, that is not evidence.
And when Gumshoe's correcting you know you really messed
exactly.
up. Faker was on a flank. Do they have the resources to really do anything here?
Oh.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I think they should get out. It's fine. You got the dragon. Well, we are not going out.
Gwen is not immune if he just dives in. However, she can just kill him. And so down goes Kingen. Calyx is now golden, but in an awkward spot. In comes Gideon. Might be able to get the punishment here onto Doran, but he's done a decent job. But look at this.
No!
It's the Bash Brothers. It's the tanks. And they're rushing towards them. That's going to be the kill on Agumiyushi. Faker comes over, though. He is now a person with damage. And Jiu is going to try and win the game alone here on the top side of the map. It's gotten silly. It's gotten silly very quickly, but I think that's probably good for T1, as it was looking very over.
Yeah, that calling, another red herring. Clearly, false evidence trying to throw us off the case of what is actually happening in this game.
Oh, no, stop it. Please, stop lawyering.
I don't know what's going on! What is happening? So, Kingen is able to get the sums of Guma. Faker was on the flank, and T1's like, you know what? We've hit our spikes. We're strong. They take a 3-man shockwave to the face.
We're not strong. We're not strong. Quick.
Okay, pretend to be fake. Pretend to be fake. Kingen goes in and just gets popped. Doran is actually doing crazy work in these team fights, by the way. Like his damage.
Faker also, the Zhonya's timing.
Zhonya's timing was great. Just a little bit off the timing. Yeah, otherwise his Chaos Storm would have kept going, but wasn't quite there. That calling, I don't want to talk about it. Wouldn't have mattered.
I did miss that one.
Yeah, well, so did he. Let's be real. Wouldn't have mattered for the play. I think Gideon always kills him there because he is just simply too low. Stock taking. Drake went to T1. The game technically continues, and gold is a little bit more stabilized. Now, what does it mean? I don't know. But I just want to get a third game of this, Atlas. I'm just entertained.
Yeah,
that's my core.
That is why we need T1 to win, so that we can just get more of whatever this is. Nongshim are doing that thing where T1 are out on the map and they've left their front door open. So they're going to go in and take their stuff. Well, we'll see whether they can, as Lance does get the interruption. That's beautiful onto Ona, as now Gideon just says goodbye to Doran. And Carrier there to defend, but now Ona and Faker are in so much trouble. The two-man Impale is gorgeous with the Arcane Storm layered on top, but Kingen is going to survive. The phase rush again, saving Nongshim. And they just lose the jungler. It is only Ona that goes down. That felt like it could have been way worse for T1, but it's still bad.
So Baron is up, but there are 2 teleports available. Both Doran and Faker can join at a moment's notice. Guma.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Lethality Varus on 4 items. He hurts, but there is Doran now making his way in.
Yeah.
As is Faker. They got to get towards the... I don't think they can. I think they have to give it the Baron.
I mean, last time they tried to do this, they all died. And the Baron still went, and the Otacon went at the same time. Like, I understand why they're just going to back away, and now Baron is picked up for Nongshim. There is a minute on the clock until the Infernal Soul as well. And you can see that Baron timer is feeling pretty good.
Calyx.
Their ability to lock that one down.
Calyx,
he's on a control ward. It's all right. Realm Warp just gets him out.
Didn't even have to flash. I didn't know that was possible.
He's pretty good at dancing in and out of the Realm Warp, isn't he?
So the attempted flank here from Doran and Faker doesn't quite work. Nongshim actually respond really well. We have Lahens and Gideon ensuring that there isn't really an easy target to go for. Obviously, Guma can't walk up by himself. Imagine if Doran is here, by the way. Imagine if Doran doesn't get knocked away. If he had Flash's deal, didn't have it, FYI, but if he did, you have the damage, the reset comes through. That might be the turn as Calyx.
Calyx is going to flash. That's a pretty high value one, but still he's going to get impaled. Does have the Seraphs, does go golden. The T1, it's only a matter of time. They just wait it out. They take down the Rise, but that's a 2-man investment into just 1 on the side of Nongshim. 20 seconds until the Infernal, as you indicate to me there, Chronicler. Could be a big deal as Ona and Doran can both get back over here. And now Gio is in so much trouble, actually. Never mind.
He's
not able to close in on him.
But they're a member down. So Nongshim want to play it slow. T1 want to try and push. But they don't have vision control. So T1 are going to try and probably get Prio through mid, then rotate into the river. Calyx doesn't FTP as well. So they have about 40 seconds before Ryze shows up. Their engage isn't great, but they got to force right now.
Yep, got to try and find something here as the hail of arrows comes down. Nongshim looking to get themselves out of here as Gideon will be able to secure.
Zoom on Scuttle.
Yeah, the crab. That's a good one. Chains of Corruption comes in here as if they kill Owner, that's a big deal, but the door goes up. Keeper's Verdict is going to make it an even fight as they take down the Jason. So much of the damage with the puppy. Oh my God, Gideon, you are so incredible. Doran goes gold and the culling is going to get cancelled. Another knock-up as Goomer is in. He's just dead. It's a triple here for Geo, and they are just going to go in, walk in the front door and win the game. And Calyx is like, guys, what happened?
Oh, look at the faces on Geo and Lance. Geo living there actually ends up winning. That fight was on the verge of being lost. Doesn't even blow his cleanse, by the way. One auto away from getting hit by that Braum passive, from actually going down. And with this win, Nongshim secure the Legend group with a 2-0.
We have Noodles in the top half of the LCK. And they're going to be facing off against T1 a whole lot more in the coming weeks.
And Geo takes...
Dude, this is the power of Challenger.
That's Challengers, baby.